G'day mates, welcome back. So today I'm going to have a little go at building this 156 Rubicon models Panther. Now if anyone follows me on Facebook or anything, not follows me because I'm not famous or anything, but if you're on my friends list and you've seen me post, I'm quite enthusiastic about Rubicon models because they're fantastic little kits, British made, really good quality, and lots of detail on them. You get lots of options. So this, we can build an A or a D with this. And if you're not familiar with the Panther A and D, the D was the first one, not the A. Yeah, it was. Right, so let's have a little looky and see what we've got. So these are the destructions. Pretty simple, like all of the Rubicon models. You can see it's like simplified wheel assembly. Excuse the cough. I've got the usual Christmas, New Year chest infection. The tracks and the outer wheels are already all in one piece. There's the turret and the mantlet. You can choose between the A and the D there, and the A and D cupola on the roof. Not fiddler on the roof, cupola on the roof. You can see there's not a lot to it. And there's the rear panel, and that'll be all the different options you can get on the rear panel there, with the exhausts and the stowage bins on the back. Choose your weapons, boys and girls, and that's about it. Shirts on if you want it, shirts on if you don't want it. Bob's your mum's brother, easy peasy. There's your little sprue map on the back. You get decals with it, but they're like the standard decals that come with all Rubicon German. My plan is to use the Atom paints. Acrylic Dunkelgelb und Rotbraun und Olivegrün. Nice colours. If you haven't used them, get onto them because they're good. Right, I've already primed the sprues, believe it or not. The time is now 10 to 6 in the AM, and I've been awake since 2 AM this morning, coughing my lungs up in bed, and I couldn't sleep. So I thought I'd get this out and pre-prime it with Mr. Hobby white, thinned with Mr. Leveling Thinner. So it's all pre-primed, ready to rock and roll. Now this is ABS plastic, so I would recommend priming it first, because it's not like normal plastic that comes with the 135 kits that we get. You also need ABS glue for it, which is that Plastic Magic. I suppose there's others, but that's my weapon of choice, and I think Rubicon recommend it as well. So there you go. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Right, let's have a little looky at getting some work done. Now what I like to do with armour kits is get the running gear done and dusted first. Makes it a little bit easier. Everything after that is just gravy. So get this off, get the wheels on, and and we should be cooking with gas, basically. I'll clean them up and then we'll come back and look at putting the wheels on. So you can see what happens with these two halves here. They cleverly fit together like that, and that's your lower hole on the tank. Don't worry about that, there'll be a plate to go over that, and obviously the upper hole goes over the top. But basically, that's it. Excuse me. Right, so I'm going to cut the first row of wheels off, and then we'll get some painting done. So there's the MIG atom in my little mixing cup. I've mixed it with Mr. Leveling thinners, and it seems to be okay. So there's a result if it's a viable option. Just tried it out on the bottom there. Don't look too bad. So what I'm going to do is just give this a quick blast. That looks all right. I would say I'm quite pleased with that for a first pass. This is the airbrush I'm using. My trusty Feng Da. With a 2.25 needle in it. And it's got a MAC valve so you can adjust the air pressure at the front of the airbrush. Let's do this other bit. Make sure to get every bit because you don't want to think you've done it and then there's grey showing or white. I'll catch the back of those swing arms. That's pretty much dry now, that's not too bad. Another coat. Ew, what's that bit of crud? Oh, it's a bit sprue attachment that I missed. get these front bits, but there's going to be coverage for them. But just in case, we don't want any white primer to be showing. I think I'm happy with that. So these are going to be the first run of wheels. So I'm going to do the backs first and then do the fronts. Just make sure my needle's clean. And off we go. Don't have to be too fussy with the backs. You just want paint on them so you can't see any primer or bare plastic. There you go. Backs are done. Onto the fronts. Don't ask me why I spun it. Don't ask me why I spun it around 360 degrees there. Just weirdo. Alright, let's get this done. Lovely choppy. Right, we'll come back when they're all done. But they're all done. Both sides. I'm happy with that. That's a beautiful paint spray. It really is. Especially with Mr. Leveling Thinners. Yeah, a little bit of missed a bit there. Right, I'll dig out the sprockets and idlers and road wheels and what have you, and I will come back. Right, so there we are. Airbrush is all nicely cleaned up, and what we've done is the bottom, the lower hole, which, as I showed you earlier, goes like that, and then when you put the upper hole, it's got big round things that go in there that hold it in. So that's done, and we've done all the wheels, sprocket, idler, front and back. Don't worry if it looks too bright, I'll be using a filter at the end, a 3-tone camo filter. That'll tone it all down and it will look tickety boo. There's the tracks with the front wheels, the fronts of the sprockets. I just used up paint on that and on the shirts and a little bit of paint that was left in the cup. And that was just my air hoses falling down because I've took them off because there was a bit of moisture in them, so I'm just letting them drain. So what we'll be moving on to next is attaching, no I won't be, I'll be painting the rubber around the tyres. This is going to be a bit of a mission. I don't think I'll film much of that because it's going to be quite a lengthy process. So here we are, we've got our wheels. We've got a nice small pointy paintbrush, and I'm using this for the rubber, AK Real Colours, the new stuff. I've got other rubber blacks, I've got Mission Models up the top there, I've got Atom, I've got a Tamiya lacquer rubber black, but I just wanted to use this for now. So what I should do is get a bit of paint, not too much, twist my brush around in my fingers in the paint so I keep a bit of a point on it, and then just try to carefully go around. I have got shaky hands, my friends, so there could be a bit of a mess going on. Hopefully not. You can see it's quite difficult because of the size of them, but it's just gonna have to be one of them things you've got to take your time with, no rush. And just do as best as you can. I think these are going to be the rear ones anyway, so they're not going to be seen much, but I still want to do a decent job on it. Turn that around there. Turn that around again. Not the best rubber wheel I've ever painted, but it'll be okay. There you go, I won't inflict any more of that on you. We'll come back when... So I've done all the rubber black on the wheels. I decided a change of tact, and I went with this instead. The AK Real Colours rubber black. It's much easier to do because the paint just flows. You don't have to keep dipping in, stopping, starting. You can do nice long strokes around the wheel. So they're done. And they're done. And they're done. So we're getting pretty close to having a running lower hole. What I plan to do now is dark iron on the tracks, and for that I've got a couple of different colour brands, but I'm going to go with Tamiya XF84 dark iron and just paint over the tracks. So I've given the paint a stir, I've given it a shake. I've got a nothing special brush and I load it up and just paint across like that. Leave it on the sprue because it's easier to handle when you've got wet paint. Pretty simple really. Straightforward, it's not a bad colour. I don't tend to do loads of rust and all that malarkey on the tracks these days. Right, so I'll bang on with that, and when you come back we will be... Oh, I've put it on widescreen. When you come back we'll be attaching all this to the low hole, and we'll have a running low hole ready to rock. So my phone just turned itself off and restarted itself, and it appears the previous video that I spent 10 minutes making, showing you putting the running gear together, gluing it all onto the sides here, that won't play. So that's gone out the window, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Anyway, you can see what I've done. The wheels are on. All that's left now is to join these two sides in unholy matrimony, like that. And then you've got a completed lower hole. So what I'm going to do is splurge some plastic magic in there, just to get that together. Just to get that together, and then I'm gonna run it down there, because none of this top will be seen. It will be covered by the upper hole. So that's what we're looking at. We've got a plate that will go over there, which I could have put on, but I haven't. Well, I suppose I could. I didn't spray it when we sprayed all the other stuff. The rear plate goes on there. And that's basically it. I'm going to run the glue down there. Can't run it there because there's a bit of a gap. This cold and cough is so weird. I have little periods where I feel fine, and then all of a sudden, like now, I can feel my face getting hot, my throat's getting dry, I'm getting a croakier voice, and I start to feel really rough again. And I've had this since Boxing Day, so that was the 26th. And I'm just about peed off with it now, so to speak. I'll just run a bit of glue up the inside there. And that is our completed lower hull. And that, as any armour builder will know, is the worst part of building a tank, is the running gear and the tracks. Once that's out of the way, it's all gravy. So I'm going to cut the the piece that goes under there and the rear piece. I'm going to cut them off and we'll stick them on, and then that'll be it. There you go. They're on. Look at that. What beautiful design. It's got a locating tab there and a thinner one further down. It can only go in one place. It can only go in one way, and it just fits. I haven't glued it yet. It just fits beautifully. Same with the front. Beautiful fit. There's a locating tab along one there, the dark grey, and it just fits. There's the butt weld, not butt welding, whatever that's called. Sorry, my brain is frazzled with this pissing cold. So that's it. That is basically the lower hull done and dusted, ready to rock. So I'm going to glue them bits on, and that'll be me for today, because I'm feeling as rough as a rough thing in rough town. So I'm going to bid you farewell. Thanks everybody that's watched it. That's the first part. The next part we'll do the upper hull and all the other bits and bobs. Until then, take care my friends. I'll catch you later. Bye.